Welcome to Shaped by Faith. I'm Theresa Rowe, and I want to thank our sponsor, Lamar Chiropractic on Sherm Road. My guest today is Randy Lanham. He is the Educational Director at the International Bluegrass Music Museum. He's also a professional musician, and you will be excited to hear him today on the exercise segment of the show. What did you play, Randy?
I squeaked out a little bit of jingle bells for everybody.
And it was awesome. And you also taught Brett and I how to play, well, sort of.
Yes, Mary had a little lamb. Yeah. Not bad for, 5 minutes lesson.
That was my first ever. I tell you what, I was telling you in there that for brain function, it's an amazing exercise to do because you were calling out just really simple directions, and I had to think about it. What? 0, 1, open. I mean, you had to really think about it. So I think this would be a great exercise for someone to take up, for that brain function.
Coordination.
It was wonderful. Yeah, coordination as well, just holding that fiddle. So when do you offer lessons at the Bluegrass Museum?
The Bluegrass Music Museum lessons start back in February.
Okay.
Anytime. I mean, you could call down there anytime today, especially during January. They're really taking the sign-ups, but you could call today even at the International Bluegrass Music Museum, sign up for our lessons. They start February the 6th.
Okay.
And what they are is group lessons, and they are every other Saturday. And they go every other Saturday from February 6th all the way to the end of June when we perform together at Romp. So not only do you sign up for lessons, you sign up to be in the band. Something very unique and cool about our program is if you want to learn this instrument and you do not own one of your own, then we will loan you one. As long as you're in the program, you can borrow one of our instruments to play.
Wow. And
there are scholarships. So if somebody wants to play, they can learn how to play. So there's nothing keeping them back. You just got to get a ride down there.
That's right. So and what are the times on Saturday?
Well, it depends on your age and your instrument. We give lessons for fiddle, mandolin, banjo, and guitar.
Okay.
So you would really want to log on to the website or call the museum to find out your time because it depends on ages and all that sort of stuff. It starts about 9 o'clock in the morning. We go to about 3 in the afternoon. So the times would be depending on your ages. And if you're a beginner, a lot of people come back for intermediate classes. We have advanced classes. We have band classes.
Wow.
So it depends on what you're looking to do.
I would need the very beginning level.
That's okay. Many people do.
Would I be in a class with children or people my age?
We divide them up
in
ages. We divide up the ages, and so everybody's in there, and everybody starts from the beginning, so everybody's in the same boat. But I tell you, it's a great program, again, because there are scholarships available, there are instruments available, but the cool thing is us performing at Romp together.
Oh, yeah, that is really neat. I didn't know that. So if you start taking lessons with you, you get to perform at Romp.
Yes, and that's really exciting. We get a band T-shirts made up, and we get 3 tickets to Romp for that day, and then we go and perform, and it's just a blast.
I think that's a great idea for parents, but also grandparents that are out there listening. Like, I'm a grandparent, and so I'm thinking right now of the grandchildren that live close to me and in this area that, that would be a great gift to give their mom and dad. Oh, my goodness gracious.
How cool is that? We have parents and kids, grandparents and kids do lessons together. It's great.
Wow. Okay. Well, that would be a great bonding time, wouldn't it?
It would be.
Okay, you just gave me an idea. Randy, let's talk about the Christmas show that's coming up. So, Lanham Brothers Jamboree is something that you and your brother Barry and other performers and artists do throughout the year. And then you have this big Christmas production that you put on, and this year it's December the 12th. And where's that at?
It's at Diamond Lake Resort Theater. And this is a special Christmas show. We are over for the summer as far as our summer series. But we do this special every year. Lanham Brothers Jamboree, again, this year it's December the 12th, Diamond Lake Resort Theater, 7 p.m. Christmas show, but it is a fundraiser for Volunteer Owensboro. Volunteer Owensboro is an organization that I direct, and we try to connect local folks with volunteering opportunities.
Well, when did you start Volunteer Owensboro?
We started the organization about 5 years ago, but we started it as Help Someone, and so many people had a hard time remembering help someone. And we just kept running back to that. A lot of people struggling to remember the name. So
really,
we actually,
just help.
yeah,
No,
to
I'm
help
sorry.
someone, yes. And then
Volunteer
we had the
Hospital's good.
.us on the end, so it was just
Oh,
hard, really
yeah,
difficult
yeah,
for
yeah.
people to remember. So we recently rebranded ourselves
Okay.
to Volunteer Owensboro. Now everybody can remember that. So this summer we rebranded, so it's Volunteer Owensboro now. You can go to volunteerowensboro.com, find a ton of volunteering opportunities, not just contacts, but a lot of these organizations we work with, we actually go and film for free promotional videos that shows people inside the organization, shows them what the organization does. It shows you volunteer opportunities, what you need to do to become a volunteer. You can't just walk through the doors and take off volunteering.
Right.
There's a process, a lot of times. So it gives you really a lot of information about that organization. So you don't have, takes away, hopefully, a lot of the fears people have with, well, I don't know, how much time do I have to commit, what's going on. So these videos, promotional videos, really give you a lot of insight.
And that's on the Volunteer Owensboro website?
Yes.
Okay. I was looking at that this week, and so I kind of pull up a list of the ways that we can volunteer individually as a community, or maybe as a group, or maybe, you and your daughter, your son, or your, maybe there's ways that you and your grandchildren could even volunteer together. So I was looking at, the elderly. I mean, that's
Yes.
a big one. So would that
Oh,
involve
you could do that as
retirement homes?
yes,
Okay.
you could do that as a family too. That's another thing that, what makes it so cool. Like right now, I still have young kids, and it's hard. We got ball practice. We're running around doing this and that, and sometimes I play a lot of music. I teach a lot, and sometimes we're away from each other so much. It's kind of cool to be able to find something that we can do together.
Oh, absolutely.
That helps the community. It's awesome. And really, some people think, well, they could be looking at, Randy, you play music, you can go in there and do music, but it don't take necessarily a musical talent. Yes, they love music, but I mean, I got to go into a nursing home and do a program. We have a program on Time Warner called Volunteer Owensboro, shows behind the scenes. I got to go in and play cards with some guys.
Oh, that's neat.
And
yeah.
we also played Wii. We played bowling on the Wii, and they skunked me bad. It was
Did they
awesome.
really?
And it was like, and there was at one point I just got to go and talk to a lady.
Just spending time, right?
Yeah, listening and talking. I mean, it's not like you have to have a special talent.
Right.
I mean, to visit the elderly or folks in the homeless shelters, or a lot of people cook meals in the homeless shelters. A lot of people can cook. I'm a terrible cook, but guess what we do? My church, we go once a month to St. Benedict's. We cook spaghetti.
Oh,
I can cook
Yeah,
noodles, believe
yeah.
it or not. I can cook noodles. It's pretty easy. So, it's there's a lot of things out there that's not that hard, and it don't take a lot of commitment. Sometimes people are a little afraid, well, how much commitment is it going to be? I really don't have the time. Sometimes, people, you need to make the time, but some of these commitments are not that big.
And our time is probably the greatest gift we could give someone now.
Absolutely.
Just going and sitting with someone, listening to them, having conversation with them. Because like you said, we are so busy. There's so many things. If we have children still at home, activities are involved in. And so our time is precious to us. It's also precious to other people that don't have a lot of visitors. So we all need to keep that in mind, especially this time of the year. If you really want a blessing, because I believe it's a blessing for us when you go and just spend time with someone and just listen to them. Yes, you're blessing them by being there and taking your time, but they're also going to bless you. It goes both ways.
Absolutely. And I think people sometimes don't realize that until they get in and get a taste of it. And they're like, wow. Sometimes they're so intimidated, scared. Well, I've never volunteered for this kind of situation before. And then once they do it, it's like they leave there and they are like on fire. They're like, you know what? This is really, really cool. I want more of it. So I encourage everybody to get out of your comfort zone and go into it. That's something we're actually, we're going to start before long, is something called Volunteer Club. So actually we will walk people in to these different organizations and let them get a taste of different volunteer opportunities, whether it be working on a house for Habitat for Humanity, cooking a
that's
meal at a
awesome.
homeless shelter, going into a nursing home, so they can get a taste of what it's like. So,
We're going to take a break right now, and let's just continue
Okay.
what you were talking about, okay? So stay tuned. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Shaped by Faith. Well, in the studio today is Randy Lanham. He's the educational director at the International Bluegrass Music Museum. He's also a professional musician. Randy, you used to be on television quite a bit. You were on CMT, CNN, the Grand Ole Opry, The Tonight Show, Austin City Limits. The list goes on and on and on and on. And you performed for how long out there? I say out there.
yeah, well, it was out there
Yeah.
for a little country boy from Knoxville, yeah. It was about 10 years that I traveled on the road and did some exciting things. I played with country artists Wade Hayes, Tracy Lawrence, Clay Walker, and did a little short stint with Tanya Tucker. So, yeah, I got to see a lot of things and do a lot of very cool things through the years. It was great. But a different season in my life. Definitely, I've had the opportunity to go back on the road, but it's no longer for me at this time. So
You're doing a lot for our community, I can tell you that, and we appreciate you here. And I'm glad you came back to Kentucky.
Me too.
You know, I mean, you're such a talent, and you're teaching so many children and adults and so many people lessons, and that goes a long way. I mean, when you taught Brett and I just in there sort of how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb, because I was horrible. I mean, I was amazed. I'm like, wow, you're a really good instructor, by the way. Just wanted to let you know that. Yeah. Well, we were talking about Volunteer Owensboro, and you were talking about the club that you guys are going to start. So what's all that about?
That's going to be coming up this spring. It's called Volunteer Club, and basically over about a 5 or 6 week period, it's kind of like a sports except different. Families can get involved, and basically we'll take about 25 people, and each week we will meet at a different location so that people can experience different volunteer opportunities. One week we might be at the Wendell Foster campus, working with folks with disabilities. 1 week at a homeless shelter. 1 week at a nursing home. 1 week maybe putting some nails in a board, for Habitat for Humanity. So what we want to do is give over that 5 or 6 weeks time, give people different experiences in volunteering, in hopes that after that club is over, after the 6 weeks, we gather back together at the end and we talk about our experience and we share our ideas and our thoughts, and hopefully those folks will latch on to one of them and want to get involved. See, I think one of the number one things is people are intimidated, they're scared. They know there's need out there. They know there's volunteer opportunities, but, I mean, making the initial call.
Right.
I mean, going in there when you're just not sure about it. When I first started volunteering at some of the local homeless shelters, I was the same way, to be honest with you. And, man, once I got in there a few times and I got comfortable, now it's like I'm very comfortable and I love it. And just the same way with nursing homes. Of course, I started when I was very young playing with my granddad in nursing homes, so he introduced me to that. So, so hopefully this club will help people get more comfortable and find their niche.
Do you have information out there besides the website where people could maybe put it in in a business, or to let them know the different ways we could volunteer within our community? And if you don't, I'm just suggesting that because I know, I teach at Owensboro Christian Church in their rec center, and I put some things out from time to time, and people really look at that and they take notice. So
That's
it's
a
just
good
an
idea.
idea, just a little, just a little postcard or something, letting people know.
That definitely, we have lots of plans. Right now, I'm the only one that, I have like 40 jobs, and that is one of them.
Is that all? Yeah.
So,
I gotcha.
But we hope to grow. We are dreaming to grow and become bigger, and we got a great board members that are just like 150% behind everything. We're trying to grow. It's slower than I would like for it to be, but I have so many irons in the fire. It's hard to keep all the wheels spinning in every direction.
And there's only one of you, for
but
sure.
you know, the Lord, if He sees fit, He's gonna open up the doors and let it happen. So
He
we hope to
always
grow. We
does
hope to
that,
do
doesn't
things
he?
like that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we'll see what doors open.
Let's talk about the Christmas show, because the Christmas show benefits Volunteer Owensboro. So you have
Yes.
got a great lineup this year.
We do.
Yes. Let's talk about that.
Well, Miss Laura Briner, we have Skylar Kane, Joe Christian, Gaining Ground, Jeff Hardesty, the wild man there, and Leland Isbell on harmonica, he'll be there. Lexi Merritt, Wayne Morris, Annabelle Watts, of course, Barry Lanham, the Foot Stomping Express Cloggers. I'll be basically setting in with everybody there, just playing along, and I love that. I get to play with everybody. It's awesome. Of course, our band, Richard Clark, Chris Armstrong, and then we've got an awesome crew. It's just going to be a great time. We got hilarious skits lined up where we just it's so much fun. You just have to be there. Last year we sold out. This is the biggest show we have every year. Will be our 4th year. The first 2 years we almost sold out. Last year we did sell out. So we hope to sell out again this year. So folks can get their tickets online at LanhamBrothersJamboree.com.
Okay.
If they want to get them ahead of time, you can get them at the door. But I suggest coming early, because hopefully we'll sell out again. And it is our only fundraiser we do for Volunteer Owensboro.
Okay.
Because at Volunteer Owensboro we actually assist other nonprofits with free video promotion. We do free video work, free PSAs, commercials, free live music. We actually assist them with their fundraisers. So we never want to compete with any of them. So
that's nice.
we don't do things throughout the year that competes with anybody else. We actually want to help them succeed. So right now, this is our only fundraiser of the year, is the show.
So everyone needs to come out and support you guys. What's your favorite part of the Christmas show? I know you like it all. You have to. But what's your favorite part?
Well, I love it that it's a variety show. You're going to hear funny songs. You're going to hear spiritually moving songs. We have something lined out this year that I'm really excited about. Well, it's just hard to say. I love the skit we got lined out. It's going to be hilarious.
Now, who writes the skits?
Barry and I just come up with these crazy ideas together. Sometimes they work great. Sometimes they're like not as funny as we hoped, but they're fun. But I love putting in shows sometimes. We have something very spiritually moving about the birth of Christ, along with song, and I'm pretty excited about that part of the show. My buddy Brian Smith is going to read right out of the Bible about the birth of Christ, but we got some music lined up that's going to go inside of it and just bring it to life. And I'm excited about that, because I love the emotional, spiritual movement in shows like that. So.
Now, do the performers and the talent come from our community, or are they from all over?
Mostly our community. All these folks are from right here in our general area. You know, Wayne Morse down there in Island, Kentucky, and Laura Briner's originally from Evansville. She's moved over to Henderson now. But mostly right here in this area. But I tell you what, you know, everybody think, well, you're just bragging because they're on your shows and you know them all, but they're really, really talented, and you can see a lot of these performers. We've had them on past shows on KET.
Yeah, let's talk about KET. When are your shows aired?
This is so exciting. They've been playing this for almost, it's been 2 years now. KET Kentucky, which is one of their channels, every Monday night at 6:30.
Wow.
They play us. And recently, they've added us to Saturday nights at 5 p.m.
Nice.
So
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
So every Monday at 6:30, you can see our show. Or if you miss that, you can tune in Saturdays at 5 o'clock and see the Lanham Brothers Jamboree. And WNIN out of Evansville, they're terrific about using our shows as well. We don't have a series on there, which is not a weekly series, but they play us often throughout the year, and we just appreciate both WNIN and KET so much for using our shows.
Oh, that's not. Now, when do you perform next after the Christmas show? Because you perform throughout the year, right?
Right. Well, we don't have that schedule all lined out just yet, but they can always go to LanhamBrothersJamboree.com. That gives you the TV schedule, all the shows, all the info they want to know.
Okay, what would you say to someone out there that says, you know, I want to learn how to play the banjo or the fiddle, but I think I'm too old, or, you know, I don't have the time? What would you say to that person?
I would say the age thing, get that out of your head right away.
And it's
it
good
does
for the
not
brain.
matter. Yes,
it is so
it
good
is
for the brain.
so. I have so many people take lessons for that thing. They say, I want to keep sharp.
Yes.
And they take lessons. Age, get it out of your mind. Now, the time
Okay.
thing, you're just going to have to make time
That's
for it.
right. Carve it
Unfortunately,
out.
you know, if it's important to you, which everybody loves music, then make that time. So.
Okay. Thank you so much for coming on. The Christmas show
welcome.
again is what date?
December the 12th, Saturday, December 12th, 7 p.m. at Diamond Lake Resort Theater.
Everyone come on out and go to the show.
Yes.
All right. Hey, welcome to Shaped by Faith. I'm Theresa Rowe. My guest is Randy Lanham. He's a professional musician and he's the educational director at the International Bluegrass Music Museum. He's got a Lanham Brothers Jamboree Christmas coming up December the 12th, right?
Yes, 7 p.m.
And we talked about that in both segments. Well, Randy, since he was in the studio, I had to ask him to play his fiddle, which you did.
Yeah.
And he played a Christmas tune. Jingle Bells.
Jingle Bells, yeah.
It was awesome, and you were sitting on the stability ball.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay, and so the stability ball, we know, takes the pressure off your spine and your hips and your glutes. But how many of us out there are actually doing that? If we've got some back issues or we want to develop a stronger core, it's just a no-brainer. It's just like sit on a ball and you're going to be good. And the stability ball, people can be a little intimidated. You know, when I first bring out the ball for my senior class, especially ladies that come in for the first time, they're like, oh, there's no way. I can't lift weights on the stability ball. And I'm like, yes, you can. Sort of like when you taught Brett and I how to play the fiddle, I was thinking there is no way I'm going to be able to play this fiddle and make it sound good. By the way, I did not make it sound good, but within time, I believe with a little bit of encouragement and practice, I could do it. I could master it. Okay? So that's the same thing with the ball. I tell people, get a stability ball. You have to get the right size, and it goes by your height. And so on the box, whatever height you are, it'll tell you what size you need. All right? And so I tell people, put it up against the wall. So like in the studio here, you kind of put it up against the couch, and it was stable. It stabilized it.
Yeah.
After you sit on it a few weeks, just take it out from the couch or off the wall and sit on it. I use mine as my office chair. I have, as long as I've had the stability ball, and that's been a long time. And so when my grandchildren come over, the oldest one is 6 years old, I walked in my office the other day. He is on the stability ball. His little feet are hiked way up on the ball because he can't touch the floor because it's 65 centimeters my size, and he has perfect balance. Like he's not holding on to the desk. He's looking at my computer, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I can't believe you could do that. You know what I'm saying? So we want to start kids off young like we do with music. You want to start them, and the balls come in all different sizes. So I know with my grandchildren, I started them with a stability horse at the age of 1 year old. And it's a horse that's a stability ball. It's pretty awesome. But anyway, that's not what we did in the exercise segment. So what we did in the exercise segment, since Randy has some back things going on from time to time, which 85% of America does, some low back pain or mid back pain, I had you do a simple stretch, right?
Yeah, that's right.
It was a basic trunk rotation. So you're just sitting on the ball, and I told him to bring his breath. And by that I mean as you're rotating and exerting yourself, you're going to exhale. And that will help you stretch a little bit further. And he held that for about 5 seconds, and then he went to the other side, the opposite side. And I told him to repeat that like 5 to 10 reps. As many times as he wanted. Then you did a basic seated cat stretch. You just arched your spine just where you were, and then you released it. And again, 5 to 10 times. It's a no-brainer, but here's the deal. Most people don't do it. We can do that anywhere. You don't have to be on a stability ball. I just want you to stretch and be active and move, and let's just honor this body that's on loan from God. You know what I'm saying? Let's take care of it.
Yeah.
But thanks, Randy, for coming on the show.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
You're so welcome. And remember the Christmas Jamboree, December 12th.
Yes.
Bye.